back to that forbidden island that's popped up off the coast of North Carolina's Cape Hatteras. Ginger, live from that brand new landmass. We want to remind viewers that getting to and from Shelly Island can be treacherous. We hired an experienced fishing boat operator to get Ginger and our crew there safely. But Ginger, you mentioned on your way there, and you went the safe route, you saw a lot of sharks, and then just moments ago, a fisherman there with you caught one.
Minutes ago, we saw a sandbar shark that was caught, and they were putting it back into the ocean so it could go free. Guys, I don't think I come out of the studio and don't see sharks. That's what I'm assuming now at this point. I just get to beaches and see a lot of sharks. But yes, one of the many dangers around Shelly Island.
Wow, tell us about your trip to the island.
Right, so we came the long and safe route. You said we took that boat right here. So it was about a 45-minute boat ride through the Pamlico Sound and then Hatteras Inlet and out. So you'd say, well, gosh, that sounds really far away. Well, Cape Point on Hatteras Island is right there. I mean, we can see it. We can see where the vehicles are. So it's a very, very narrow area between this island, this crescent-shaped island that's formed, and Cape Point. And that's why people say, oh, my goodness, I want to go check out the new island. But that 50 yards can be very treacherous, very volatile. The currents, there have been dozens of rescues. There are rescues every single day of experienced swimmers and kayakers right here at Shelly Island.
Ginger, why is that?
Yeah, because, well, there's a lot of reasons. This is a high-energy part of the ocean. You have the Labrador Current coming from the north, the Gulf Stream coming from the south. They kind of meet and they make this turbulence. And so these shoals and all of these sandbars have been called the graveyard of the Atlantic because there have been thousands of shipwrecks at this very point.
Wow.
Now, this island specifically has always been here. It was just submarine. I want to take you to some Google Earth images, guys, because this is the big question is, how does this happen? How does an island come up in just a couple of months? Well, in April, people started seeing it, but by today, it is now more than a mile long, and I'd say 4 football fields wide. I can't even see the other end of the ocean. It is not because of the graveyard of the Atlantic description, not just because of the currents, but because of the persistent weather pattern. Yep, it's all because of weather. Let me take you to this map. High pressure system. They've had a very mild winter right here in North Carolina. No nor'easters. They were all north. Into northeast and New England. That high pressure rotates clockwise, and you get that southwest flow, the southwest push of winds, and that builds up the sandbar, which is now no more longer submarine, but subaerial. And that's why it's an island. This thing keeps growing. I talked to Dr. Stan Riggs of East Carolina University, and he was telling me that he thinks if this consistently persists, if this high pressure sits there, we could see this island weld to the beach. So this may not be the end of its growth.
Wow.
And Ginger, you know, you've talked about this, and we know that tourists are being warned against going there. Is it absolutely prohibited?
Yeah. It's, you know, nobody owns it. They aren't even, no one's really taking responsibility for it yet, but they are from the Cape Point side saying, please don't do it, especially if you have no experience. If you've got a boat that you can jump off and safely be on, once you're on here, you guys, all that we see is thousands of shells and a lot of wildlife that comes up on here. But it's not just sharks. I mean, there have been seen manta rays the size of car hoods. So there are a lot of things that if you're just a tourist especially coming, you don't want to encounter.
Yeah, I was looking at those shells behind you, and that's how the island got its name, I understand?
Yes, so Caleb Regan, well, a tourist that came here, he's 11 years old. It's kind of a thing. He's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of shells here. I'm going to call this Shelly Island. And he calls it Shelly Island, and it stuck. So it's a nickname that stuck. Good for Caleb.
That's great. And there's even a commemorative T-shirt. It doesn't mean go get one, everybody. Ginger, great job. Great job there. That's so fascinating.
Yeah,
It really
thanks,
is.
Ginger.
Really interesting. And she is having fun out there as well.
Thank you so much. And if I can add one thing, guys. If I can add one thing, the shorelines here are ever changing. This changes the name of the game here. So just as quickly as this island appeared, it can disappear. It's just going to take a hurricane or a tropical storm or a nor'easter, and it'll be gone. So we're so glad to be here talking about the east side of the island recessing by a quarter to a half mile. The south side has been adding. So this is just another place the sand is adding up.
Okay, Ginger, thanks very much.
She is so good.
Yeah.
She really is.